All right, so if you're watching this, you're kind of wondering how to do this assignment. If you are totally clueless on the assignment, you should watch the overview, the other video that's attached before you look at this one. You're able to do anything you want for this assignment. Well, like I said, you should have already watched the other video if you have questions on what the assignment even is. For this rubric that's worth 20 points to you, you need to pick something from The Crucible, Things Fall Apart, The Narrative of Frederick Douglass, or The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. You are illustrating themes from that in the project that you choose. Well, when I went and looked at that list that's attached to the assignment 2, the one that stood out to me was making a game. So what I decided to do was make a game off of the Frederick Douglass book that we read. So for my pre-writing, I wanted to brainstorm facts about Frederick Douglass. And so I give myself 1 point per 2 facts, which would give me a total of 20 points. Now, this is my pre-writing. I don't fill anything in this last column. That's for when I grade your stuff. That's what's going to go in there. But what do you like to do for pre-writing? Anything you want. You could draw pictures if you wanted to. You can do whatever you want for your pre-writing. For my game, it made sense to get facts about Frederick Douglass since I got to get themes out. Mine wants to be about how the barbarity of slavery, and that's what I want to get across in my game. Then, since it's a game, I'm also doing a list of rules for the game. If you were writing a story, say, of a slave that was in that situation and his story about trying to get out or something like that, you could do an outline for the story and brainstorm ideas and things like that, list things from the story. And then you just put in there how many points it's worth, what you're going to do to earn the points. So what does it look like? Brainstorming. What am I grading? Facts about Frederick Douglass, 1 point every 2 facts. And then I'm going to have about 40 facts when I'm done. List of rules for the game. I'm telling what you should see in there is an outline of 10 steps for the rules. Now, when you make up your list, you want to be as specific as you can. I still have to approve it. So when you turn in your rubric, it's worth 20 points, but I have to approve what you say. So if you just put general stuff, then you're not going to get points. It's going to get back to you and say, be more specific. Rough draft. That normally is just a word count. Like if you're writing a story or something like writing letters or something like that, you do like 1 point every 10 words because it's just typed. What would it look like? Typed paper. Since mine's a game and I want it to make it a card game, I'm going to draw out the cards and have the information on the cards. Very rough draft, set of 30 cards, give myself 20 points for that, and it's going to get across those themes of slavery in there. I'm also, since it's a game, I need to have a rough draft of my rule book. And so my rule book rough draft is going to take stuff that I got out of my pre-writing, those 10 steps I had, and then add some pictures in it. And maybe run through the game with the rules with some imaginary people, just like play through it, see if I think it would work. And that would be worth 20 points. Then I get my revised draft. That's really when I get done with this, that will be my final, because once I do all the revising, that's the last draft. So that's what I would have. So what we have here for that is I'm going to have it play tested. You could have somebody proofread your paper and mark it up for you. Well, I'm going to get feedback from them as they test play the game. So I'm going to get 10 points just for people test play it and I get their feedback. Then I need to go back and start finalizing the cards. I want to use a thicker paper because it's going to be my final. I want them to look nice. I'm going to make the corrections on them so they don't have any errors in it. My rule book, I'm going to clarify any rules that maybe my playtesters thought was a little confusing, take some out. I want to add some humor to it because I want to get some more points here. So I'm going to add some humor to it and make sure that there's 0 grammar mistakes. So I have 10 points. Your revised draft should be everything you're going to do to make your rough draft into something that's permanent, like your final. Now down here, I don't have anything for a final draft. You don't have to, because if you're done revising, that will be your final draft. If you want to, you can publish things online. If you decided to write a play, you could perform the play. You could YouTube, maybe you did a song and you want to sing the song. You could YouTube the song that you wrote and, send me a link, whatever. But that's what this final draft here. Me, I would have to send mine into a game publisher. That would be my publishing. But I don't want to do that. And I've got 100 points with my steps that I've gone through here. All right. I hope that helps you with it. You guys, good luck. I'm looking forward to looking at your projects.